but I ended up stopping school. I actually moved to New York City to pursue more modeling. Yeah, that's about it for my background.
So you're smart. So definitely a smart, you know, definitely a smart young woman. Definitely went to college and all of these things. So what drew you into the direction of going into the entertainment business?
Well, I guess because I thought that it just seemed so glamorous and it seemed like wow, like it's just something that really captured my attention. You know,
Right.
you always want to be the one that's the nice one, the pretty one, you know, the one that everybody wants.
Right.
So I was attracted to like the lights and the shiny stuff.
Right. I understand. That's what most
Yeah.
people are attracted to. Okay. So fast forward, you get into the you get into the industry. You know, you start modeling. Your career goes, you know, pops off, as they say.
Yeah.
You know, now, what is it that happens in the industry that lets you know that this is not something that you really want to be a part of? What was the first thing that let you know that, you know, this is might not be the right direction for you?
Well, number one was I was contacted by, at the time it was, I guess, Ricky's manager.
Right.
And this is in, I want to say 2005 or 2006, I believe. And he asked me to audition for some type of tour that they were having, they needed models for. And he said to come to some secret location wearing a G-string and to be ready for something called the freak test.
Right.
And he also said, how would I feel if I was to walk into the tour bus and I would see an orgy? How would I feel about that? He asked me how would I feel if I was to walk inside the bus and I saw people taking drugs such as ecstasy, or what are my views about that? And like, what would I do?
Right, right.
Because they already had a girl that he told me that freaked out and they had to send her home. So now he lets everybody know up front so they won't be scared and so they won't have to, you know, spend money on them going home.
Right. So they're trying to check out where your head is at if, you know, you see them, a host of people having an orgy or, you know, popping pills, smoking, whatever they're doing. They want to make sure that you'll be comfortable in that environment and even willing to, you know, jump in and be a part of it, right?
Exactly.
And so
that's exactly what, yeah.
So how did you react to that?
I said, I don't feel comfortable with that. After that, I just left that alone. That was the last time that I spoke to him.
Right.
A couple days after that, he was still calling, still trying to get me to, I guess, change my mind.
Definitely. And so he calls, tries to get you to change your mind, but you didn't change your mind, right?
No, I did not.
All right, that's good. All right, so now, but you continue on in the music industry, though.
Yeah, I did.
Right. So what happened after there? What's the next thing that happens?
The next thing I believe was I got contacted on MySpace about with an entertainment agency, and that's how he got me into the Trina video.
Right.
And that was the first one that I did, and everything got started from there.
What's the turning point? What type of thing? What really happened that opened your eyes up to the fact that, you know, there's something that's within the music industry that is satanic, evil, you know, that people really need to know about, but they're not realizing that that's what's going on behind the scenes. What happened to open you up to that?
Well, you know, I always try to see the good in everybody.
Right.
But I mean, you gotta be realistic about it. There's people that they may seem nice and they care on the outside, but deep down they have a different agenda. And when I was on the Sean Garrett and Rick Ross music video for 6 in the morning, the director said for everybody to throw up the number 6. And for us to all say, you know, come on, 6. Like, he was making like fun. Like, if I wouldn't have known what it really meant, it just would have went right over my head like it did most people that were there.
So wait a second. Say that again. What happened here?
he basically, everybody there was chanting 666. This guy is telling us to all say 666, and I'm like, nobody finds that strange. Not even, do people even know what this means? Like, right. I'm looking around, I guess it just went way over people's heads. If you don't know what that means, of course you're going to start chanting it.
Wow.
That was the last, that was it. I was like,
wow.
He's telling us to say 666 repeatedly, throw the number 6. And yeah, he's not saying it like he has horns and a pitchfork. He's not saying it like that, but he's coming out as a nice guy. And people there are all nice looking, and everybody is so, supposed to be good. But I mean, we're chanting 666 and nobody finds that strange.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
So that basically opened your eyes up. So now, I know that God's been working in your heart since then.
Yeah.
So, what has God been doing in your life since then?
Well, since then, I guess the more that I read and the more that I get into the Word of God, like, I see that everything that I was doing and everything that I was standing up for. I mean, I know that you're just in a music video, or some people say, oh, I'm just rapping, or something like that. But if it doesn't line up with God's word, then I believe that we shouldn't be doing it. And I think that what I was doing was wrong, because I was participating and I was surrounding myself with people that were not doing the will and not doing what is right by God.
Definitely. And so now you stepped away from the modeling career, and you're rebuilding all over again right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
You're going back to school right now?
I'm going back to school for special education, and hopefully I can get a master's in, I don't know, who knows, maybe religion, I guess, maybe.
Well,
maybe.
As God leads you never know what He has for you. Look at it.
Exactly. I don't want to jump too far. I'm waiting to hear from God. So.
Right. But that's beautiful. I definitely think that what you're saying is valid, and everybody really needs to understand that even though that lifestyle looks very enticing, because it seems like everybody's having fun, especially when you're watching the music videos. It's like everybody's having fun, everybody's always happy, everybody looks good, and you want to be a part of that, and you want to be looked upon as that. And so that's why a lot of people out here trying to emulate that, but they're not really realizing that there's a lot more to it than what meets the eye.
There is a lot more to it.
And I think that's what you saw, and what you're telling us, and what God has revealed to you, and He's doing something new in your life.
Exactly.
All right, Jack. That's good. Backstage, you told me to comment on your muscles if I felt the urge.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for commenting.
I didn't.
I've been working out a lot.
Previous winners of Best Rock Video are some of the most exciting acts of all time. Green Day, Linkin Park, and of course, Aerosmith.
Yeah. Now listen, since we're giving a rock award tonight, who wants to pray to the devil with me? Who's in with me? Come on, hey. Let me see those horns. Let me see those horns. Metal, 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 metal. All right. Now take the hand of the person next to you. Come on, Leighton. Dear Dark Lord Satan, hope everything's good with you. I'm doing fine myself. Just want to say hi and ask you to grant tonight's nominees continued success in the music industry. How was that?
Metal. Very metal.
Thank you.
The nominees for Best Rock Video are...
He says, I want power. I go right to the source of power. And he says, how do you think that I became famous the way that I am? Well, I said, you must have had some good luck. Well, he says, there's no such thing as good luck. He says, there's either some power working for you somewhere, or you don't get ahead in this world. Not in my type of occupation.
Many years ago, I named my alter ego Sasha, and it's something that stuck. So when I was trying to decide the title of my album, I realized it had two different sounds. One represented who I really am, and one sounded like my alter ego. So I decided to split it into two because I feel like Sasha is a big treat for my fans. It's definitely exciting being able to have an excuse to be so over the top. And I think you definitely hear the difference. I try to keep Sasha on the stage. I absolutely keep Sasha on the stage, and now she has a last name. She's Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Fierce? Tell me more.
You have to say Sasha Fierce with more attitude.
Yes.
There you go. I decided to split the album into two because I realized it sounded like two different bodies of work, and I wanted them both to be, you know, cohesive. And I like to listen to an album and not have to skip through tracks. So I split them into two. Even the artwork, one is really natural and it's really intimate and, you know, thought-provoking and emotional, more serious. And that's who I really am. And Sasha Fierce is kind of my alter ego on the stage, and it's like crazy in love and the really sexy, fun, high fashion, kind of it's like the personality I've created on stage while I'm performing.
On BT, in my mind, I saw the set immediately. I said, I want something big. I want something that says, I'm here. Beyonce. And I drew it out. I drew out the ramp. I drew out the boxes for me and my girls. I drew out the lift right in the O. It just so happened that O was right in the center of my name for me to come down. I knew the dance. I knew about the pumps. I saw all of that in my head before it happened. And it's great when you visualize something and it actually comes to life. It was way better than I expected. And Sasha was in full effect. Sasha is my alter ego. And when people see me, sometimes I think that when they meet me and they speak with me, they're expecting Sasha. And I'm really kind of shy, and not really shy, but more reserved, and nothing like Sasha. But I guess I wouldn't be very entertaining on stage. So Sasha comes out, and she's fearless. You know, she can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me. And I knew that was going to be my coming out night for the BET Awards.
I Am Sasha Fierce. Wow. You really are Sasha Fierce. I just thought the whole, can you put the CD cover up there? I thought the whole way you did that was so fantastic. So you are Sasha Fierce.
Yes, this side of the album is I Am.
Yes.
And people, I think, are a little more familiar with my stage persona when they see Crazy in Love videos and they see videos like Put a Ring on It. Yes. And I wanted to reveal more of who I am. And songs like Boy and Halo and the songs that are more personal and more intimate and vulnerable are
the ballads.
The ballads. Yes. And then I have Sasha Fierce for the fans.
Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Fierce.
Like, when you're getting ready to go on stage and perform, does Sasha Fierce, when does she show up?
Usually when I hear the crowd, when I put on my stilettos, when, like, the moment right before when you're nervous and that other thing kind of takes over for you. Then Sasha Fierce appears, and my posture and the way I speak and everything is different.
Oh, Sasha's coming out.
No, she's not. She doesn't do interviews. She only performs.
Oh, she doesn't.
For instance, like Loretta Lynn. She says on national television, and I have the data on it, that I heard it myself. She said that she was made successful in her singing career by a dear friend of hers that was the same age as she, and died when she was 18 years of age. And Loretta was trying to get into the the singing world, you know, but it would, she says, I had no success at all. Until one night I was sitting in bed reading a book. And she says, who walks right through the wall but my friend, the spirit of my friend? And she says, Loretta, I'm going to make you a very famous person in singing Western country music. And I will be with you all the time. Trust me. And she says, she had a big concert once, and she was coming down with this bad cold. And she thought that her voice was going to give. She talked to her spirit and felt that she was going to be helped. And she got on the stage and she started to sing, and right in the middle of where she really needed the power, no power at all. And her spirit friend tapped her on the shoulder and said, and started to sing for her. She said, her voice went through me, the power. See?
And you saw this in a television documentary?
Yeah, yeah. This was, I believe, 1976.
But during our conversation, the artist shared a very personal discovery he's recently made about himself. This is very interesting.
Recent analysis has proved that there's probably two people inside of me, just like a Gemini, and we haven't determined what sex that other person is yet.
Did you say I'm not even sure what sex it is, or he or she or it is? Did you say that?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that. You found out that there is another person living inside you.
This is turning into a civil interview.
Prince is being used by the same evil spirits that are possessing other rock stars. Prince's overwhelming musical gifts can be attributed in part to the demonic beings that are possessing him and using his body as a tool for satanic subversion. Prince, for a time, went so far as to drop the usage of his name because he was unsure if the spirit living in his body with him wanted him to use it or not.
And one day I was being very serious with him, and he was saying that he had been channeling, and therefore he didn't sleep, and he was working on songs, and his higher power was working through him and giving him ideas. And I was like, can't you talk to your higher power, please, and just ask if he could shelf these ideas until we open in London, and then we'll make sure that you have a recording studio at the gig and one at the house, and you can work on the record from that point on. And he was like, I can't do that. And I was like, why? And he was like, he'll give the ideas to Prince.
I love that. I love that. He said, God's speaking to me, and if I don't do it, he's going to give the ideas.
Give them to someone else.
He's going to give them to Prince.
He admired Prince, by the way. Loved his music. Purple Rain, he used to talk about that song, and
We'll be right back.
AC/DC guitarist Angus Young has also admitted to being possessed. He points out that the spirit manifests while he's performing on stage. He says, quote, by the time we're halfway through the first number, someone else is steering me. I'm just along for the ride. I become possessed when I get on stage. Judas Priest, who is named after the apostate apostle Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus Christ, is fronted by Rob Halford, who promotes both homosexuality and Satanism. Glenn Tipton of Judas Priest says it's like someone else takes over my body.
I'm only 13, but I've been working for this moment ever since I could sing, which was when I was about 2 years old. My first audition was so exciting. Westchester, New York. My mom is a graphic designer and my dad is a copywriter, but I want to be a superstar.
So can we finish what we started? Don't you leave me broken hearted tonight. I can't seem to let you go.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
She just killed it.
She's possessed.
She's definitely possessed.
She's like a little caterpillar.
Yeah.
And then you think she's gonna turn into a butterfly? Dragon, burning up, scorching the town.
open your mouth and start to sing, and you sound like a professional opera singer, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you were just born with this?
I think I was just born with this. Yeah.
Does it surprise you to think that you're considered superhuman?
It does surprise me because whenever I listen to myself sing, all I hear is an 11-year-old girl.
When you're on stage singing, what does that feel like for you?
It feels like I'm possessed.
Really?
Yes, I am possessed by the music.